Hey guys. So, I don't know if you've heard of this YouTuber that was murdered recently. Um, I guess he was shot to death in Florida on at the beginning of March. His name was Michael Cravey, and I guess his YouTube username was Thomas. Sorry, hold on a second. Let me find it here. His YouTube username was Thomas Brinkley, and they're talking about how he was talking about the Aurora, Colorado shooting. Um, okay, so I went to his YouTube channel, and this is okay, just so you guys know, I didn't know this guy. I was not subscribed to him. I didn't think I had time for it, but I just thought, okay, I'm just going to kind of glance at this for a second. And this was his featured video right here on his YouTube page. And he's making the claim that James Holmes was based on him. So I thought, okay, that sounds pretty bizarre. But I'll just listen to it. So I'm just going to play you a clip right here.
I literally reached my hand into the rib cage of the Aurora thing and those related entities and grabbed a hold of the beating heart and ripped it out. Okay? Like, the only way that you will even know how big of a deal the Aurora thing crashed in their face is if you, like, go through my channel religiously. Okay? I mean,
All right. So it sounded kind of bizarre to me. But I just wanted to look into it to see if there was any evidence that the James Holmes thing was, I just wanted to see if there was any kind of evidence at all to his claim right here. So I go to this other YouTube video that he uploaded in May of 2013. And again, he's saying that the Aurora, Colorado shooting thing was based on him somehow. And I will say this, if you go watch these videos, he doesn't articulate his logical argument at all. So I kind of had to put this together. Basically, he's saying he has these links in here, and he's saying, okay, um, he has crazy red hair. He does. We have this video right here, and this is a video that he uploaded February 2012. So this is before the Aurora, Colorado shooting that occurred in July of 2012. He actually looks like James Holmes. Okay, so here's James Holmes with his crazy red hair. This is this dude right here. You can see that they look similar. I mean, their face looks similar. There's the crazy red hair. Um, there's all the connections to the Joker. I mean, apparently James Holmes was trying to dress up as the Joker. Um, so there's that connection, and then what he's saying here in this video is that he had a Joker-like persona in his delivery of alternative media. So, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. It actually is true because in this video right here, um, he was delivering this message here as the character of the Joker, as played by uh oh God, you guys, I don't know. I don't watch the Batman movies, but I think you understand what I'm saying. Okay, as played by Heath Ledger. I'm sorry, you guys. So, all right. this was Heath Ledger's portrayal of the character, the Joker. And what he's saying, what this guy right here, Thomas Brinkley, or other, I guess his real name is Michael Cravey, what he's saying here in this video that he uploaded in May of 2012 is that he would kind of emulate this, he would emulate Heath Ledger sometimes in his YouTube videos. And I'm going to give you an example of that. It's right here in this video. Okay. So that is true. He did do that prior to the Aurora, Colorado shooting. He had this delivery that he kind of copied from Heath Ledger. And I mean, a lot of people do that, okay? And then he says that he also had these skits that he did. So he was an acting student. So if you go on his channel and you look at it, a lot of it seems really eccentric, and just kind of strange, bizarre. Um, but I guess apparently he was a theater student or he was an actor or something, an aspiring actor, I guess. So what he's saying is, look, he had these Joker skits that he did. He had the Joker on his main channel page right here. Um, and he also had crazy red hair. And after he uploaded this video in 2012, you have the Aurora, Colorado shooting. You have this James Holmes guy who who actually looks like him. Let me show you real quick. Let me find a picture. Let's see, where is that? Oh, here it is right here. Okay, so he actually looks like him. You can see right here. They look very similar. The crazy red hair and the face, very similar. And then his delivery in this video was very similar to Heath Ledger's performance in the Batman movie, which was apparently what this was all about. So James Holmes was apparently dressed up as the Joker from the Dark Knight movie, which was Heath Ledger. Okay, so watch this clip right here.
Let me tell you what drives me absolutely insane. When people hear about the Mossad truck bomb incident and then they think like Mossad had absolutely nothing to do with it. They listen to the audio transmissions, the radio dispatch going, please repeat the message about the remote controlled plane, and do you got those guys under? And the van exploded and beat the shit out of them. You know what I mean?
So you saw that. Okay, that's the Joker smile right there. Clearly.
You know what I mean? They hear those things, and it means that there were vans with explosives driven by Israeli Mossad agents dressed up in chic uniforms to try to pin the blame on the Muslims with a with a mural painted of an airplane diving into New York and blowing up. And they hear it. They go, and they hear it, and then they're like, no, it's not a conspiracy, and no, the Israelis had nothing to do with it, even though, like, they turned out to be Mossad agents. They got hoisted out of the country by the FBI. I mean, the FBI interrogated them and then said, see ya. Okay, that happened. I'm not an idiot. A lot of people are idiots. Not an idiot.
Okay. So you might think he's crazy, but the point is, he did upload this video in February 2012, prior to the Aurora shooting in July of 2012 at the Dark Knight um, premiere in Colorado. He does look similar to James Holmes, who was dressed up in the Joker costume. And the thing about James Holmes, too, is James Holmes was working on a PhD in brain science, and then he was I have a video on Vimeo. You can go check this out. I'll leave a link below. But he was working on specifically something that he called temporal illusions. So, illusions of the temporal brain. That's what James Holmes was working on before he was framed for the Aurora, Colorado shooting. Okay, I don't know that he was framed, but I I'm guessing there, but allegedly, the alleged shooter. I mean, that's something you didn't hear in the media very often. I mean, the media just jumped the gun and wanted to say he was the shooter before he even went to trial. So that was my problem. That's why I made this video right here. But I just thought it was very um maybe significant that he was involved with these things called temporal illusions, that he found out they were experimenting on humans and he was going to say something about it, so they framed him for this. I don't know, but the fact that he was dressed up like this Joker character and that he looked very similar to this guy here who was then murdered a year and a half later, this does, I have to say, he claimed it was connected, and I say, yeah, it looks like it was connected. It looks like there was a connection here. Like maybe they got rid of two people at the same time. You see what I mean? First, they framed him for the murder, and then they also demonized this guy in the process. Because there are a lot of people out there who are very shallow minded, and they will judge a person based on the color of their skin, the texture of their hair, the way they look, etc. It's really sad and it's really stupid, but it's true. There are a lot of people like that out there. So the media can demonize a person simply by claiming that somebody who looks like them committed an atrocity. You know what I mean? There are people out there who will say, oh no, I'm afraid of this person because they look like the person who allegedly committed a mass murder. Okay, you see what I'm saying? There are people out there that are that stupid. It's sad, but it's true. So it is possible that that this person right here was demonized at the same time this person was framed. Okay, here's another video that he uploaded, and this is in June of 2012. So this is a month before the Aurora, Colorado massacre. And so I'm just going to play a clip of this right here.
Already occurred, but there was a Jewish kid named David Cole, and David Cole had essentially been researching the Holocaust himself, Holocaust revisionism, and he came to the obvious conclusion that the Holocaust was not as it said it was, and he saw all of these constant revisings of how many died, and I can't really get into all of the reasons that the Holocaust is fake. I mean, a lot of it would consist of me saying things like, all of the camps, there were like lots of these death camps apparently, and at a certain point they began to investigate, the Americans began to investigate the camps, and they were concluding, okay, this wasn't a death camp, this one wasn't a death camp. This concentration camp, but it wasn't a death camp that we heard about. But the death camps were the ones that were in Poland, or the only death camps now were the ones that were in Poland, which were not allowed to be investigated by the Americans. And this actually kind of gets into why, what's going on with Russia and communism and everything. It's so neat.
Okay. He's talking about some kind of connection between Zionism and Russia. I mean, I don't know what he's talking about, but I've never heard of that before. Here's another one right here. He's talking about Obama, so I'll play a clip from this.
Okay.
Okay, this was uploaded in April 2012, so a couple months before the Aurora shooting right here.
Here is why you can't trust President Obama. You can go to the White House's website, download the birth certificate, and I don't know if they've changed it, but I recently downloaded and tried it. Open the birth certificate with Photoshop. You can even do this with Word. You can click the text and move it around. You can click the background layer and move it around. The birth certificate is fake. It's a fraudulent document.
Okay, so notice he said he went to the White House's website and downloaded the birth certificate. Okay. So that's something. Now get this. In this video right here that he uploaded in April 2013, he's talking about the Boston bombers, and he tells you that he interviewed to join the CIA. So let me just play a clip from this.
Okay, ranting time. I just wanted to be like, I just kind of rant right now. So now they're saying that the FBI had, checked into the older brother, and the reason that they're doing this is that the mom ran back to Chechnya. I don't know how they didn't have her locked down a little sooner than this. Runs back to Chechnya and apparently goes into hiding, and then the Russian news reporter agency, the RT, goes over there and asks her questions, and she says, yeah, my boys were living in America, they got into Islam, and then of course they basically got involved with the FBI. So what really I think happened was, what happens, let me tell you something. I was trying to get into the CIA back in like 2007 or 8, and basically I went to one of these like little recruiting things, and they happen on the university campus. So I'm at the university campus, and the CIA agents come in there, and we were all sitting down, and there was like one Arab kid in there, Arab American kid, and then basically they're all like, okay, so they had this long discussion, and it made everything seem like incompetent and ridiculous, and we were answering questions. Everybody thought they were going to be James Bond in there. Then they're like, okay, so we're going to start doing interviews. We all lined up, and I get in the line, and then I noticed that the CIA agent went to the Arab kid and said, go to the back of the line. This is before I was like full-blown, everything's a conspiracy. So the kid goes to the back of the line, the Arab kid, and I'm like, no way. So I went ahead and got out, and I got behind that Arab kid, and I just stood there, and I went through the line, and I was watching, and then he just went crazy. Okay, hey, how's it going? Blah, 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 and just moved him along. Everybody there trying to get a job. You know what I mean? So it's sad. Then they get to the Arab kid, and like, total violation of employment law is just like, hey, I can hear them whispering to each other, and I'm standing right behind them, and I'm just watching them. Hey, blah, 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 yeah, blah, blah, blah. Talking about nationality, talking about language, we're going to hook you up, and all that stuff. They apparently hiring this kid to be met again, or let me just funnel you over here to get, your contact information, etc. Then I come up and he brushes me off. And so I'm just like, okay, so it's apparent to me that what they're looking for are Arabs, Arab Americans, people that they can trust, and that's not surprising. What is also not surprising is that they would use these as informants to, under the cover of bringing down jihadist, Islamic terrorism, and that they would use them to perform operations. Okay, so that's who these two are. They just had like an Arabic appearance. Okay, they're obviously from Chechnya. At which point, the CIA or the FBI says, "Hey, American citizenship. Pretend you're Muslims now, and we're going to get you to, infiltrate and whatever, be part of psyops and stuff like that." All right, so ultimately all I'm saying here is, wow, and let's see what happens.
Okay, so this is a video that he uploaded in June 2013, so 6 months or so before he was murdered. And he says that he had this experience where he thinks maybe he was attacked with a directed energy weapon. So I'm going to play a clip of this right here.
Okay, so tonight I would like to tell you about the potential survival of an assassination attempt on my life. And first off, let's answer, why would they want to assassinate me? Well, I was starting to control the narrative, the counter-narrative to the Aurora shooting. I was somebody that people were tuning into or trusting during the investigation, so there was some incentive to take me out because I started causing too much damage. And the reason I didn't tell this story earlier is that, and for instance, even though I speculated the night of the crazy theory that James Holmes was based on me because of multiple things, multiple similarities, pictures of him with porn stars. I have a picture on my profile where I'm with a porn star. I didn't Photoshop her in, but the fact that they were doing that was interesting. They also had him with a llama, and I was every day in communication with the guys that made the Nameless mod, of which there's sort of like a llama fascination, a llama cult fascination. Anyway, yeah, I didn't even mention it because I'm well aware of how it would have affected my credibility, but now I just don't even care. Now there's a huge, we're making so much progress now that I'll go ahead and say these things. So, the assassination attempt. Basically, either in late September or sometime in October, and I can't remember.
Okay, so he says this incident that he's going to describe right here occurred in late September or October. So he uploaded this in June 2013. So he's talking about September, October of 2012. So this incident he's about to tell you about occurred a couple of months after the Aurora shooting.
Remember when, because it was something that I brushed off, but now I'm taking it seriously. And the neat thing is that I luckily called somebody right after it happened and told them what I thought happened. So at least I have that person that can vouch for me, a friend of mine that I always talk to. So, okay, what happened? It would have been very simple to figure out my daily grind, my daily trek, because I was simply going to college. Like I said, last year, late September or early October, and I don't even remember if that's correct. I can't remember. I'm judging it based on certain things that I remember going on at that time, but what I will say is that I was simply walking like I normally do. I park at my old apartment complex to catch the bus, and I was heading towards the coffee shop because I always get coffee in the morning before I catch the bus, basically. And I start heading down the sidewalk, and these two middle-aged kind of a swarthy complexion, but not even, you know, it was like they were swarthy but never had any sunlight, and they were a little bit balding, both the same height and very short, wearing shorts and sandals and a t-shirt, kind of unkempt looking, like strange. And both of them, from when they rounded the corner, staring directly at me. And I didn't think anything of it, but they were walking just parallel to each other, taking up the whole sidewalk, staring right in my eyes. And when I look back, I think about how they were, this is some sort of like a glorification of their assassination attempts. Like they think, oh, I'm going to look directly into the eyes of my victim. But anyway, their expression on their face is just completely, you know, no expression. Just, I can't even explain this. Just like I'm 6'2", you know, but these guys were very short, and were literally just looking straight up. And as I'm walking right by them, just looking straight up into my eyes. But like I said, they basically were taking up the whole sidewalk, you know, to the point of almost like budging me off the sidewalk. And I did sort of like have to step around them. And nothing, I never felt anything, but I just walked by them. And then the corner that they had come out from around, a white van pulled up. And this person as well, staring directly at me. So the white van pulls up, and this guy is driving it, and this guy had, I think, very just curly black hair, maybe even a mustache, I don't know, but he's staring directly at me. And it was an older looking van. It wasn't like a nice white van or anything like that. And it was like uncomfortable, and I just kind of walked past him, and that's when I got a little suspicious. I was like, why did these three people all stare directly at me? And that kind of happens sometimes. I kind of get people like staring at me and stuff like that, but this was just a little bit weird. It was like weird to have someone staring, two people staring directly in your eyes while they're walking underneath you. So I get towards the Starbucks. You know, I round the corner. I'm guessing that the van thought it was going to pick me up right then and there or something. I don't know. Maybe they just didn't know when it would take effect. I get to the, apparently you don't even know what they just did to me, but I guess I'll leave it in suspense. So I get to the Starbucks, and I start getting major heart palpitations, like fluttering, whatever. It actually caused me to pause, and I grabbed the railing, and if there wasn't any pain or anything like that. It was just like a rush of blood and just like bunches of heart palpitations. And I grabbed the railing, and I just calmed myself down, basically, because I have a very good conscious control over my body from I mean, like, I used to have a very bad case of hypochondria and anxiety and things like that. And so I just calmed myself down, and then I just continued inside, and I got my coffee, and I sat down, and the top of my foot was extremely itchy. And I was like, what is this? So I just started itching my foot, and I looked down, and it's like swelling red, because I was wearing sandals. Swelling red, and I was itching it, and I was like, what the heck? And then I just start adding it all up. I'm like, did they just shoot me with a heart attack gun? The guys that were, you know, almost pushing me off of the sidewalk. And I had and then what I had felt as far as heart palpitations was that poison or whatever taking effect. And then when I'm in here sitting there drinking coffee, the top of my foot itching and swelling and turning red, and I'm sitting there thinking in my head, like, did a fly land on me? Even when I was on the phone with my friend at first, I was like, dude, I don't know why the hell my foot's so itchy.
I was like, I don't know what could have landed on it that would have bit it that would have had this reaction, you know? So I'm sitting there thinking like, oh my God, they just tried to assassinate me. They basically just tried to shoot me with a heart attack gun. I don't know how often people survive that. I may be the first, maybe the only case of anyone surviving a heart attack gun. Obviously I don't know, it actually went out of my mind. Like I literally thought, no, that's impossible, that's crazy. But looking back at how effective my activities were, and summing everything up, and also having I've told people this later, I've told people about this, what I thought was an assassination attempt. And obviously, if it was in fact an assassination attempt, I was in fact shot by a heart attack gun by these people, then it has to basically freak them the fuck out that I survived it. Anyway, I guess this is useful information, and I could be wrong. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there, okay? The whole reason I didn't even make a big deal about this, even then, I could have been like, oh my God, I'm going to get a test and figure out what happened and stuff. And I'll be honest, I didn't feel anything when they walked by me, okay? But what happened? Did a bug land on top of my foot in that time period and bite my foot, and I had a horrible reaction to it? No. I think that all of these fishy incidents, I mean, when I thought it was fishy, the moment I'm walking by the van, and you know what? The van didn't pull out. I'm sitting there thinking like I had to walk around the van, right? Because the van stops at the stop sign around that corner. And I was like, all right, man, just pull out. Stop staring right at me. Just pull out. You know, I hate when people, you know. Anyway, and the van's just sitting there. And I just walk around the van and head out behind the van towards the Starbucks. And the van's just sitting there. I assume pulled out, whatever. But anyway, I get down there. And anyway, I guess I'll just upload what I got here.
There's another one right here that he uploaded in July 2013.
Okay, so I'm here to warn everybody that the power structure has, and I'm not joking you, they have directed energy weapons that are space-based. They literally have space lasers which are able to blackmail, threaten, and or whatever. It sounds absolutely crazy. It's technologically feasible. They have almost certainly done it by now. And I suspect that a lot of these wildfires, like the one, like I think shit must be hitting the fan for them, and they have to prove what they have to people, and so they do things like burn the plane. I think they burnt the tail off the plane before the plane even landed. Then they burnt the top of the plane in San Francisco 5 minutes beforehand. Some plane had a similar experience, a fire basically, same make and model, in Athens, landing in Athens. Some of the wildfires in Colorado were just very weird, like in isolated areas, isolated apartment complexes and homes, basically just burnt from the top down. Maybe the firefighters who died out there in Arizona, Tucson, or not Tucson, but out there in Arizona, Prescott, Arizona, were in fact murdered through by these space lasers. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's 2013, and they almost certainly have this capacity. And then once again, you see the justification for, let me just shut up and make my $200,000 a year, because you know ultimately you can't do anything about it, and we're keeping the incidents from occurring. But what it shows is shit must be hitting the fan. Very powerful people are waking up, and these powerful people are basically being shown the might of the secret shadow empire, which is almost certainly has these abilities. And a shill, basically somebody who tipped me off, who practically knew who the real shooter was, you know, before I even made the connection. And later I did make the connection and then realized that this person was a shill, and was this was a shill tip-off. And I basically, it was just like,
I talked to this person. I said, and they started like acting like they were crazy. And he said specifically, Obama has space lasers, zap zap. Like he was telling me, he was telling me, what's the matter? And I was like, should I be worried? Should I be worried? And he said, no, they like you. You're crazy, like Alex Jones. And I was like, okay. And then he was like, and then I was like, so I wish you would tell me more. And he said, Obama has space lasers, zap zap. So, that's what's going on here.
Okay, so um, I'll just play a clip of this as well. Apparently, this is his brother. Um, this is Michael Cravy's brother. So I'll just play a tiny clip of what he has to say here.
Hello, my name is Nicholas Cravey. I am the brother of Michael Cravey, and I'm making this video because I've talked to a lot of people in our family and our neighbors and our friends who come to me concerned about Michael, and I know that the online community that Michael was part of, you guys, it was something that he felt very connected to, and so I wanted to reach out to y'all and let you know that we're thinking of y'all, and we are taking a lot of things into consideration. That being said, we want to say thank you so much for your efforts and everything that you have, and the questions that you continue to ask, because we can see how much y'all also care about the situation that happened with Michael. I'm going to be referring down to my notes every once in a while, just so you know, so I can keep going. I had a hard time, just going, Michael went crazy, because, you had this guy who for, as long as I've known him, like 4 years ago, told me, like, I'm going to be made out to look crazy, something really bad's going to happen, so here's my passwords and here's my, my things, so that you can kind of take up the slack whenever it's gone. Things that
Okay, so I'll leave links below this video if you want to check out some of that. But basically, if you go to his channel, I'm just going to tell you a lot of it seems really, really weird. But the point that I'm trying to make here is he claims that the Aurora shooting thing was connected to him, and there's evidence that it was. So that's all I'm trying to say. He says, the fact that he looks similar to James Holmes and he had this Joker persona in February 2012, all of that. I mean, he lists several things in there, um, in his other videos as well, that he noticed this connection, and I think it was freaking him out. Um, so I don't know if he realized that he was targeted or not, but that's the facts right there. So that's just my take on it. Again, I mean, I wasn't sub to this guy. I didn't know him, but that's my take on it. So in case you haven't had time to look into it, there's a little bit more. All right, so I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.